All right, everybody, welcome to the very first episode of From the Stands. We're going to be recapping MLB's opening weekend. Season just got started, so we're going to be going through every headline, walk-off, highlights. So, yeah, before we do that, I want to quickly thank all my patrons real fast. So thank you to Punky, to U-Rock, and to Jeff Allen. Thank you guys for supporting the show, helping support my channel. If you guys want to help support, you can become a patron. I will put the link in the description. So thank you guys for that. And yeah, this week we're going to be covering games from Thursday, April 1st, opening day, to Sunday, April 4th. So let's get started with that. So we have a couple headlines that we're going to get started with. So first off, the Mets and Nationals actually did not open up this weekend. The Nationals had several positive COVID tests, so they will open up this week. We'll get to that later. Twins third baseman Josh Donaldson exited in their opener against Milwaukee. He hit a base hit, and as he was rounding the base, kind of was holding his hamstring. He was placed on the 10-day injured list with a sore hamstring. Yu Darvish made his Padres debut. He pitched 4 2/3 innings. He allowed 4 runs on 8 hits. He also did strike out 6 batters, so not the best debut for Yu Darvish, but we'll see where it goes from there. Trey Mancini returned after being sidelined due to cancer, so he is back on the diamond, so applause for Trey Mancini. Great story coming back. Trevor Bauer made his Dodgers debut. He pitched 6 no-hit innings, but then after reaching the 7th inning, allowed a couple hits, gave up 4 runs on 2 home runs, so he struck out 10, so pretty good debut for Bauer until that 7th inning. Blake Snell made his Padres debut. He pitched 4 2/3 innings, didn't allow a run, gave up 4 hits, but also struck out 8 batters. Major League Baseball announced that they have moved the All-Star game from Atlanta, Georgia, due to the recent passing of the Georgia voting laws. So we have yet to hear where that'll be moved to, but it is no longer in Atlanta. The Braves released a statement. You can see it, put it up on the screen. I can pause the video here and read that. Corey Kluber made his Yankees debut. He pitched 4 innings, allowed a run on 5 hits, and struck out 5 batters. Joe Musgrove made his Padres debut. He pitched 6 shutout innings, only allowed 3 hits, and struck out 8 batters. We had our first bench clearing incident with the Reds and the Cardinals after Nick Castellanos hit a home run on opening day. Kind of looked at it too long, I guess the Cardinals thought. He was hit by a pitch in the next day, their next game of the season. And then after reaching third base, he scored on a wild pitch and did that. And the Reds and Cardinals kind of yelled at each other. Nothing really happened. Yeah, we got our first bench clearing incident of the season. Nolan Arenado hit his first home run as a member of the Cardinals later that day. White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson left the game last night after running out a ground ball to first base. He is listed as day-to-day. All right, guys, so those are our headlines for this week. We're going to move on to the plays of the week. I'm sure you've seen them, but let's recap them all. Miguel Cabrera hit the first home run of the 2021 season in what looks like a blizzard off of the AL Cy Young winner. He slid into second. Didn't know if the ball was gone or not, but we have our first home run of the season in a snowstorm. Cody Bellinger hit what looked to be like a 2-run home run, but he passed Justin Turner as he was rounding the bases. Turner thought the ball was caught, so he was called out, and it ended up being an RBI single. Braves and Phillies were tied at 2 heading into the 10th inning. In the top half, runner on third base, fly ball goes to center field. Roman Quinn fires it in, throws out Albies at the plate to keep it tied, and we'll see what happened after that and when we get to the games of the week. Jose Abreu hit the first grand slam of the year with a shot to right center off of Andrew Haney. Joey Wendell, with his team down 2 runs, hit a 3-run go-ahead home run in the top of the 9th inning to put the Rays ahead, and that would be it. They would win the game after that, so huge home run from Joey Wendell there. Akil Baddoo, with his parents looking on, hit a home run in the very first pitch that he saw in the major leagues. Crazy play in the White Sox-Angels game last night. Runner on second and third, 2 down. Yohan Moncada strikes out. The throw downs from the drop third strike goes past the first baseman, allowing 1 run to score, and then Fletcher's return throw to the plate also overthrown, which lets a second runner come around and score. That would tie the game later on. Crazy play there. Ohtani would be removed after colliding with Jose Abreu at the plate. He is listed as okay. He was just taken out of the game due to his pitch count. Another crazy play in the White Sox-Angels game last night that let the White Sox tie the game. So runner on second base, 1 out. Adam Eaton grounds it back to Iglesias, who has Madrigal dead to rights in between second and third, but he overthrows Rendon, lets Madrigal come around and tie the game. But don't worry, Angels fans, in the next inning, game tied, 2 runners on. Jared Walsh with the walk-off 3-run home run, and one of the best celebrations we've seen this year. Our first walk-off home run of the season. All right, let's move on to my games of the week. These are the games. I picked 5 games here that if you missed, you should definitely go back and check out. We're going to start with the Twins and the Brewers. Their Brewers home opener. Brewers are down 5-2 entering the 9th inning. Alex Colomé, brand new Twins closer, pitched to Yelich here, is hit into the gap. That brings in home another run and puts runners on second and third before Travis Shaw sends another hit into right center to tie the game. Josh Hader would strike out the side in the top of the 10th before Orlando Arcia with the walk-off ground ball, whatever you want to call it, and the Brewers take that one. Big come from behind victory there. The Mariners are down 6-1 entering the bottom of the 8th inning against the Giants. They would find a way to come back to take the lead 7-6 after a big 3-run double and then a throwing error. So they would take the lead there before Alex Dickerson of the Giants ties the game in the 9th. Mitch Haniger later on with a sliding catch to keep the game tied. The Mariners would go on to win it with a walk-off walk. 6-run comeback by the Mariners there. The Braves and the Phillies played a wild opener in Philadelphia. Top of the 7th, Nola's dealing. Pablo Sandoval off the bench with a 2-run home run to tie the game at 2. Then we talked about it before, Roman Quinn with the laser to keep the game tied, sending it into the bottom of the 10th inning before Gene Segura with the walk-off hits puts the Phillies past the Braves in their home opener. The Twins and the Brewers with another great game here. Great pitchers duel. Jose Barrios and Corbin Burns each finished 6 no-hit innings. Barrios would be removed. Burns gave up the couple runs in the next inning. Omar Narvaez breaks up the no-hitter with the bottom of the 8th inning with the hit, but the Twins would hold on to win the game. Colomé locks it down. Great pitchers duel there. Let's get to the Sunday night game, the White Sox and the Angels. Crazy back and forth game. Shohei Ohtani throws 100 miles an hour in the first inning, and then in his first at-bat takes Dylan Cease deep for a home run into the right field bleachers. So crazy performance by Ohtani there. The Angels would take a 3-1 lead before this play. Moncada strikes out, drop third strike, throws it down, error there, throws it back, overthrows the catcher, 2-run score, game is tied. Jared Walsh would hit a home run to put the Angels ahead before the White Sox would tie it again in the 9th on this play with Iglesias overthrowing Rendon, brings in the tying run. But in the bottom half of the inning, Walsh again with that 3-run home run, first walk-off of the 2021 season. Now let's get to my performances of the week. I picked a couple starting pitching outings, a couple hitters going off, so let's get into it. In the Orioles opener against the Red Sox, John Means threw 7 shutout innings. He retired 18 straight batters before being pulled. The Orioles would go on to win the game. Yermin Mercedes, in his very first career starts, went 5 for 5. He's the only player in the modern era to do that. Zach Wheeler, 7 innings pitched, only 1 hit allowed. He struck out 10 batters, didn't allow a run. And then at the plate, he's got 2 hits with a pair of RBIs. Crazy outing by Zach Wheeler. Talked about it earlier in our games of the week, but Jose Barrios and Corbin Burns. Barrios, 6 innings pitched, he didn't allow a hit, struck out 12 batters. Burns threw 6 1/3, allowed 1 run on a hit, and also struck out 11 batters. Cedric Mullins of the Orioles in their last game against the Red Sox, 5 for 5. He ended up scoring 3 runs. Shohei Ohtani threw 100 miles an hour in the first inning and then went up and hit a 115-mile-per-hour home run off of Dylan Cease. Then, of course, Jared Walsh, pair of home runs, 4 RBIs, also had a walk, hit the go-ahead home run and game-winning home run in the 9th inning. All right, now it's time for the standings watch. Let's take a look at the standings, see what happened, which teams were hot, which teams struggled this opening weekend. The Astros swept the Athletics in a 4-game set. The A's open up the season 0-4, big series against 2 division rivals. The Astros come out on top. The Phillies swept the Braves in a 3-game set, another big interdivision series. Orioles get off to a hot start. They sweep away the Red Sox. Now their team is likely going to compete for the AL East title, but it's another interdivision series going the way of the Orioles. The Blue Jays took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Jays are trying to win the AL East, so that's a big series, good way to get started. And then the Angels took 3 out of 4 games from the White Sox. Big 4-game set there. My players of the week in the AL. I picked a couple pitchers here. Talked about earlier, John Means, 7 innings pitched, didn't allow a run, just 1 hit, struck out 5. And Jose Barrios, 6 innings pitched, didn't allow a run, didn't allow a hit. He only hit 1 batter, was the only base runner to reach base, and 12 strikeouts. A couple AL hitters this week. Yermin Mercedes started the season 8 for 8. He ended up finishing this week with 9 hits and 14 at-bats. He hit a home run, 6 RBIs. And then Cedric Mullins of the Orioles, 9 hits and 13 at-bats. He hit 3 doubles. My NL pitcher of the week is Zach Wheeler. Did it all. 7 innings pitched, just 1 hit, 10 strikeouts. Then at the plate, of course, 2 hits and a pair of RBI. A couple NL hitters I wanted to highlight. Ketel Marte hit .563 with a .611 on base and a 1.63 slugging. He had a pair of home runs. And then Eric Hosmer hit .636, .667 on base, a 1.364 slugging, also with a pair of home runs. Big weeks from those guys. Now let's get to the rookie watch. I'm going to be highlighting a couple rookies each week as we kind of get further and further along in the season, see who might be the front runner for the rookie of the year. We have Brian Hayes on opening day going yard against Kyle Hendricks. He is actually placed on the 10-day IL for a wrist injury, but should be back after that. Dylan Carlson also hit a big home run in his opening day, 3-run home run against the Reds. And then Geraldo Perdomo, the Diamondbacks' number 3 ranked prospect. He's 78th overall on MLB.com. Made his debut. Crazy play at shortstop. We'll kind of see where he goes these next couple weeks. All right, let's get to my what to watch for. I've got a couple things you should be looking out for this week. The Mets now open today against the Phillies. They will face Matt Moore instead of Max Scherzer that they would have faced had they played the Nationals, so we'll look out for that. Francisco Lindor also makes his Mets debut. The Nationals are set to open up with the Braves on Tuesday after their positive COVID tests, so look out for them. Max Scherzer, I believe, is still going to get the ball in that first game. George Springer could make his Blue Jays debut on Saturday. He is eligible to return from the injured list that day. As far as I've heard, he is set to make that debut, so look out for that. Also keep an eye on a couple teams who are competing for division titles that struggled this past week, such as the Braves, the A's, and the White Sox. It's important to get off to a good start, especially when you're competing with teams in a very tough division. All right, now it's time for the highlight reel. A couple plays that didn't quite make it into any of these other categories, but I still wanted to shout them out. We've got Randall Grichuk with the go-ahead double against the Yankees on opening day. We'll put the Jays past, able to win that game there. We've got Didi in the 9th inning, able to take away a hit, keep the game tied, and the 9th inning against the Braves. Chad Pinder made a pair of great catches against the Astros. Take a look at him here. Crashes into the wall. Crazy pair of catches there from Chad Pinder. First play of the season for the Brewers, Luis Urias with a crazy diving catch out there at shortstop. Going back to the Mariners-Giants game, crazy play here by Mitch Haniger to keep the game tied and send it to the bottom half of the inning. Jose Altuve tagged up and scored on a pop-up to second base. You see Kyle Tucker frustrated, couldn't hit the ball further, but don't worry. Got the job done. Altuve scores on that pop-up to second base. There was a cat delay at Coors Field as ran out in the center field there, making friends with Bellinger before someone was able to grab it and take it off the field. Elvis Andrus shows that he's still got it. This crazy play in the hole, throws out the run at first base. Great all-around play by Elvis Andrus over there at shortstop. Jazz Chisholm of the Marlins had a crazy trip around the bases, stole 2 bases, and then was able to score. Crazy trip around the bases for Jazz Chisholm. Dodgers had another crazy home run play. Zach McKinstry with a home run that actually goes over the wall. Toppy out there on left brought the ball back. Didn't realize that it was still in play, and McKinstry came around and scored. Crazy inside the park home run for his first career home run. The White Sox had a very rough series against the Angels defensively. It was the pop-up to center field. Anderson and Luis Robert coming in to catch it. Robert calls him off, actually gets hit in the head. Reminded of Jose Canseco there. Real rough all-around series for the White Sox, and this just kind of was the biggest example of it. Fernando Tatis Jr. hit his first home run of the year, an absolute bomb in the bottom of the 9th. 465 off of Chris Davinsky. Alec Boehm put the Phillies ahead in the bottom of the 8th inning with his clutch base hit. The Phillies would go on to win the game and sweep the Braves on opening weekend. Thank you guys for watching. That was our opening weekend of the 2021 season. If you feel like there was anything that I missed, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. If you have anything that you want me to improve or work on these next couple weeks, I am glad to hear some feedback. Still trying to get get things worked out here, our very first episode. Now, before we get going, I have a couple questions from my patrons and people in the comment section that I'm going to run through real quick. So again, if you guys have anything you want me to answer in next week's episode, feel free to leave it below. I'll give my thoughts on it. One of my patrons wanted to know my thoughts on the Cubs offer to Anthony Rizzo. They offered him $70 million over 5 years. So my take on it, I know they're trying to extend him and keep him in a Cubs uniform, but he's set to hit free agency at age 32, and I think he didn't want to take that low of money, even if it was for more years of insurance that he would still be on the team. I think the amount of money is good. I think it's too spread out, though. I would take maybe like a 3-year deal over 70 million, something like that. I think a team would definitely give him more in free agency if he were to hit that. I think the Cubs are just trying to save money in some ways to bring back either Chris Bryant or Javi Baez or both maybe. So I think they tried to maybe cheap out a little bit with Rizzo's offer there. Someone wanted to know how I thought Trevor Bauer would perform this year. I don't think he's ever going to repeat the Cy Young season he had. He's not Jacob deGrom. I think we'll definitely see some regression. I think you'll see starts like he had last time where he'll look dominant and then give up some home runs. Not to say that he's going to have a bad year or anything. I think it's just really hard to repeat what you did for 60 games pitching against the same teams over to the Dodgers, where you're playing against the Padres and the whole league now and trying to still replicate what you did last year. That's really tough to do. And finally, my thoughts on the Francisco Lindor extension. I think it's great. I think anytime you sign a guy to a 10-year deal, you're going to be taking some kind of risk. But the Mets got the guy they wanted. You don't want to let him hit free agency and then try to work it out with all the other shortstops that are going to be hitting the market this winter. So you got the guy you want. You have the money to spend. Go out and give it to him. Anytime you give a guy a really long contract like that, there's always risk to it, but it's something you have to do when you get a superstar like that. It's just a risk you have to take. So that's going to be it, guys. Again, if you feel like I left anything out, feel free to leave it below. It helps me out to know what I missed, and then also helps everybody else out who was watching to know, hey, this also happened. So thank you guys for watching. That's going to be it for this week, and I will see you guys next Monday.